All right, let's just jump right in. We're here to break down the absolutely massive shift that's happening in AI right now. We need to talk about what's coming in 2026 because honestly, the ground is completely moving underneath our feet.
So, the entire world of artificial intelligence is changing in a really fundamental way. We're leaving the era of AI tools, where you have to feed it prompts, step-by-step instructions, and we are entering the era of AI agents. So, what's the big difference? Well, with an agent, you don't give it a prompt, you give it a goal. And then it just works, all on its own, to make it happen.
And this whole agent revolution, it's being put on hyperdrive by one company in particular. Everything really kicked into a higher gear with the release of Google's next generation AI model, Gemini 3.
And Google moved fast. In almost no time, they built this entire ecosystem of super powerful tools, and a lot of them are free or pretty low cost. You've got the core model, Gemini 3 is the brain. Then they rolled out all these specialized tools for image generation, coding help, you name it. But the real kicker, the thing that ties this all together, is their agent building platform, Workspace Studio.
Okay, so what does this even mean when we talk about a team of AI agents working on a goal? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's not. It's already happening. Let's get super clear on what we're talking about here. An AI tool is like a hammer. It waits for you to swing it every single time. An AI agent, though, it takes a high-level goal, some instructions, and then it just goes. Think of it like a really smart robot for all your digital work. And hey, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky theory. Let's look at a real-world example from a German company called Cashier. They got early access to Google's Workspace Studio, and what they did with it is, frankly, kind of mind-blowing. So instead of the old way, endless meetings, messy notes, all that back and forth, Cashier just unleashed a virtual team of these agents. Someone has a new idea, and bam, a brainstorming gem assesses if it's any good. Then it passes it to a technical gem to check if it's possible. Next, a UX gem maps out how a user would interact with it. And finally, a final gem drafts a complete user story for the human team to review. The whole thing, just done, automatically.
And yeah, just so we're all on the same page, GEMS is just Google's brand name for these specialized agents. It's their term for these little autonomous digital workers built on the Gemini platform. Nothing more complicated than that.
All right, so you get the tech. Cool. But that's only half the battle. If you really want to thrive in this new agent-driven world, you have to completely change how you think about your job and your skills. First up, and this one is huge, especially if you're in tech, we have to separate coding from programming. They are not the same thing. The AI, it's going to handle the coding, spitting out the Java or Python syntax. But humans, we're going to be responsible for programming. That's the true art of problem solving, of designing the whole system. That's our job now. Second thing, and this might sound a little out of left field, but stick with me. In an era where everything is changing so fast, your physical and mental health becomes your single most valuable asset. It's non-negotiable. I mean, this quote just says it all, right? You can't leverage any of these incredible new tools if you're completely burned out. Health is the absolute foundation for everything else. Beyond that, the focus shifts to skills that are uniquely human. Think about this: being able to write with crystal clarity, to take a messy idea and turn it into clean instructions for an AI, that becomes a superpower. Then there's building distribution networks and genuine trust with people, things an AI just can't replicate. And for anyone building automations, the real value isn't in the simple stuff anymore. It's in tackling the messy, high-stakes workflows that can handle all the weird edge cases of the real world. Now, this is where things get really interesting, and maybe a little scary. This huge tech shift is going to split the economy in two. It's going to create this massive divide, and you really need to know which side of that line your skills are on. We are walking straight into what's called a K-shaped economy. The top 20% of skills, the ones that leverage AI effectively, are going to see a tenfold increase in productivity and value. Their careers are going up. Meanwhile, the bottom 80% of skills, mostly repetitive digital tasks, will see their economic value go in the exact opposite direction, plummeting towards zero. And this whole split is driven by a simple paradox, and this quote just nails it. Things that are easy for us, like physical dexterity or understanding social cues, are still incredibly hard for AI. But tasks that are really hard for our brains, like analyzing massive datasets in seconds, well, that's trivial for an AI. Understanding this is absolutely key to positioning your career for the future. So, how are we supposed to think about this? A technology this powerful, this disruptive, what's the right mental model to have? A really useful way to think about it is like the discovery of fire.
I'm sure a lot of people got burned at first. It must have been terrifying. But eventually, we understood it. We learned to control it, to harness it. And that control enabled the creation of the entire modern world. We're in that fire moment right now with AI. Which brings us to the most important point of all. The primary threat here isn't unemployment. It's not about a robot taking your job. No. The real risk is becoming unemployable by failing to adapt your skills to this new reality. The challenge isn't the technology. It's our willingness to learn and evolve right along with it. And that leaves us with one final critical question to ask ourselves. This isn't something to fear, but it is absolutely something to prepare for. The new fire is here. The only question is, what are you doing to master it?